What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and we're back here with the G37. As you guys could see, it's filthy because it's been sitting all winter inside the garage, maybe once or twice over there outside on the driveway. But you know what? This video is going to be about installing the Z1 high capacity diff cover and the polyurethane bushings. And yeah, let's get right to it. I don't know how hard it is, but a lot of people said dropping the differential is but then getting those bushings out is super fun. So, all right. So she's jacked up on all four. Man, it's high. Like, my head's not even reaching the roof anymore, but that'll give me enough clearance. Just gonna take out my diffuser, and it's gonna have a lot of rocks in it, so I just don't want that spot to be as dirty because I'm gonna be under there. But yeah, we're gonna be working under here. Let's hope the exhaust is not in the way. Let's take a look underneath the car, just to kind of see what we're dealing with. Damn, carbon's dirty. Anyways, here's the stock one. It honestly doesn't look horrible, but because from what I see, most of the videos, those are blown. But here's the sensor on the diff. We gotta disconnect that. Oh, there's another one. We're gonna disconnect everything. I might as well disconnect the battery, because if there's one thing I've known about this car is that it really dislikes being worked on with the battery connected. So we're just to be safe. Alright, so I got the diffuser removed. Now I have a little bit of a better view. So how I plan on going about this is I want to remove the shield that's right below the drive shaft. So it gives me a little bit of better access to the bolts right here and nuts. And then also there is two plastic shields on each side that cover the bushings for the sway bar. And once those are removed, then I'll start by removing the sway bar. So once the sway bar is removed, then I'll start by unbolting the axles from the drive shaft first. Then I will remove the drive shaft itself, because that way, like, you know, if I need to spin it, it's just a little easier. So yeah, well, since it's so tight and hard to show right here, so this sway bar link had a rusted, and yep, this thing's stripped. I just couldn't. Okay, so in my case, this is the passenger side sway bar link. So I have a 14mm socket, 6-point, not a 12-point, or else you'll strip it. A 6-inch extension and a 12-inch extension. A long-ass breaker bar, 1/2 inch, and oh god, hold on. It's tricky to do it with one hand, but here she goes. So I just gotta loosen it until, oh, I think I broke it, or this just came off. But I know the bolt was spinning for a fact. So basically go like that, and then there is, in mine, there is like a 14mm nut in the back. So you hold it with a wrench, and then you spin the rest of the way, and you should be good. Okay, so passenger side one is out, and it wasn't really easy. For some reason, there just, see, no rust or anything, just like in the middle right here, but it was really hard to get them out. I just gotta do the driver's side still. And since I'm working on the G and this is completely f***ed, I just got ordered 2 new ones. Well, you guys wouldn't believe me if I told you, but this is the stripped one on the driver's side, and I somehow managed to get the socket on it, and it is spinning. Now, it is in a way on the back of this, but remember the sway bar can move a little bit. So I just want to get this off. I don't even care anymore. So yeah. Would you guys believe me if I told you? Here it is. So both sway bars are disconnected, or sway bar links, sorry. This is the one that I was gonna cut. No need, I'm just gonna have to remove it from the top, so is the other side when the new ones come in. I gotta remove these 2 bolts, which, you know, I can move this shield and just slide the sway bar link, or the sway bar itself, out. So sway bar is off. I just don't have enough room to show you guys or to get it out. So the best solution is to lower the exhaust, which for me is these 2 hangers on the mufflers right here. So I'm going to get my muffler clamp. I was just going to squeeze out that rod right there from the bushing. Alright, So as far as the sway bar, I got away with just lowering this muffler. I don't want to really lower both because it's going to put the stress on my test pipes, because basically there's no hangers since then. I know, I need some work done to my exhaust. This one, if I really have to, I'll just remove it, but I was able to wiggle the sway bar out, and basically from there, now I just got to remove the axles of the diff, disconnect it from the drive shaft, disconnect the speed sensors, which I found that out because they're connected right here. See? So they are speed sensors, and basically, like, you know, route the wire through over there so it doesn't catch on anything. Once both axles and the drive shaft is removed, all I gotta do is remove these two mounts, and then there's a bolt or nut, whatever it is, right here in the bushing itself, and then it's out. So the axle, what you guys want to do is use a wrench, put the wrench flat, use something like I did, which is, this is the handlebar for the jack. So put it over there, pull, and you know, it loosens it, and then I have my good old ratcheting wrench thanks to Mac Tools. But yeah, like I use that and then take it up the rest of the way. So here's the drive shaft to diff. I got these two out. Now, what I did is I used my long half-inch breaker bar, which has a flex head. And you can get this off of Harbor Freight. I got it from Princess Auto, which is the same thing. Basically, use the flex head, put it on the bolt side from here, break it loose in an angle, it's fine. Mine wasn't seized anyways, no rust on it. And then, you know, once it's loose, you can remove the nut and the bolt. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to spin, because 4 of the bolts that connect the diff to the axle are out from here. So are they from here. And then basically all that's going to leave me with is that one last bolt on the other side. And then I'm going to get to the other bolts from here, which both axles out, no problem. For the axles, you don't have to put it in neutral. You can spin the wheels, and then when you want to loosen the bolts, just put on your handbrake and you'll be good to go. Okay. And as far as the shifter, you pull down the boot, there is a pin, you pull, and the shifter itself comes out. Then you take this panel out, or bezel, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. See this white button right here? You press it, and then you can shift it in neutral. I mean, if you really want to, you can just take this off or however, and then you can press it and it'll just put it in neutral. And then you can spin the drive shaft. It spins really easy. One more note, some people freak me out saying, oh, it's a non-LSD, blah, 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 just telling by how that right here looks. But I'm pretty sure that I heard that the sport models, which is mine, come with LSD differentials, and apparently the quickest way to test if you have LSD or not is you spin one side, and if the other side spins the same direction, you have an LSD. If it doesn't, then it's a non-LSD. So right now I'm going to be spinning it as if the car's moving forward, and sure enough, it moves the same direction. So yep, I have an LSD diff. So we might be having a little bit problem, but you know what? So telling by the diff, I'm trying to slide this out, which it is, but there's not enough room. So what I might end up having to do is remove the support that supports the second piece of the drive shaft, just to kind of lower it down and give me a little bit of more space to push it back. If that works, I don't know. Because everything that I looked up online and everyone else, they don't have the same flange as mine, the one with the 3 bolts. Theirs is more of a round shape. And the drive shaft is basically held by a U-joint and then straight onto the differential, but mine has that, like, whatever the hell you want to call it. So as far as the shield holding the joint for the drive shaft, it's held by 1 10mm and 2 12s. And in my case, none of them is seized. Of course, I am using an impact, and I'm using one hand to remove it, but the other side's already removed. So, as you can see, that shield's removed. Oops. Sorry about that. That shield's just gonna slide forward, and then I'm gonna take it off from over there. Here's the middle piece. Then we need to remove these two. By looking at them, my guess is they look like 14s. So like I said, 2 14mm, differentials hanging down low. Let's go pry it out. The diff might have to wiggle it a little bit around, but I think we should be good. After struggling, it's out. So basically, yeah, after removing that brace and I had to lower the exhaust a little bit, I just kinda, it's harder for me to do it because my exhaust is custom, so it depends what kind of exhaust you have. It might make it easier or harder for you. All I have holding the diff is these 2 bolts and the nut in the back and the 1 breather hose. This bushing right here, or the nut, is a 17 millimeter. I put a deep socket in there with my breaker bar. I'm gonna break that loose. Ooh. It does not want to come off. Man, I can tell you this one was not fun, but look at that. Right after it broke loose. So I'm gonna get this off, and then I'm gonna get these 2 off, but while I do that, I'm gonna have the jack supporting the diff. Yeah, BRB. So here's where we're at. As you can see, the diff is out. I have it supported on the jack. I just called in my brother to help me a little bit. Yeah, we'll try and wiggle it out. Let's hope the exhaust is not in the way. Guess what, boys? It's out. My little brother helped me. He's a little camera shy. Diff is out. Basically, you'd lower it enough that you're gonna see the fitting for the breather tube. Just grab a little pliers and then you can pry it out easy and then drop it. My exhaust was in the way, and I hope I did not break anything right now because it's laying on the ground so low. So I'm gonna put something underneath it, just that way it's a little bit, sitting a little bit higher. But. So now that we have the diff out, I'm gonna drill holes into the bushing all around, take this bushing out, and then I'm gonna get my Sawzall cut, make like cuts inside this, then chisel it out. This is what I saw people doing. I just didn't find it worth it to get the Z1 removal kit for like $100+, you know, for a one-time use just to get this. As soon as I started drilling the hole, like diff fluid just started pouring all over me. So I'm gonna try and find a solution for that. I'm just surprised mine wasn't blown yet. I think this is a first from everyone that I've heard. Like, yeah, sure, I'm supposed to be doing it from the other side, but I'm trying to drill it at the bottom so I could drain all the fluid. Like, this shit's nasty. And I need a better drill bit. What I'm using right now is a long ass screwdriver to try and cut it out. I hope I don't smack myself in the face. But, so one thing I learned, the most you'll need is a drill. And then with this, what I did is basically, once it was basically like cut the hell out, I put it at the edge inside the circle and then started hammering in, and then it just gave out and it's right there. And this is the mess I have right here. Now that that's, you know, cut out, now all I need to do is grab my Sawzall, cut it out, but before any of that, I need to clean up this entire mess. I cannot work like this. So I'm gonna clean up this and I'll be right back. All right, so tools are kind of more organized. I returned what I won't need anymore. And then I cleaned up whatever was under the car, except the tire, because I want that to support my exhaust. So yeah, basically that bushing is cut out. I just need to get my Sawzall in there, which is gonna, let's see. Jesus, that was easier than expected. Oh no, that wasn't even the metal part, believe it or not. Okay, oh no, what's this? What? I'm confused. This is the rest of the bushing. Ha! You guys won't believe this. The whole ring came out. Oh, this was easier than I expected. Did I touch the subframe? Nope. Not even a bit. Take that. Would you believe if I told you there's the bushing after I mangled it? But this is the part that surprised me, because everybody said that this is a bitch to get out. This was the easiest part of the job so far for me. Man, I didn't even have to do anything. I just made a couple cuts, as you guys could see, with a Sawzall, and then this last one. So it was, the ring was basically sitting like this. So this is like, you know, facing the back of the car. I made this cut first, then this one, and then I went up here. So it's like, you know, a little bit more cut so I can like get it out easier. But once this one was done, right away it came out. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do here, we're gonna install the new bushing. And with that, they recommend using a rubber hammer or a rubber mallet, and then installing the collar after. But we're gonna need to use a lot of WD-40, which is no problem. Let's get some lube in here. Okay, let's see how it's looking on the other side. I know this side looks good. Oh yeah, perfect, we're in. All right, this is the fun part. Whew. Where is the mallet? For some reason my camera cut out, but yep, we're flush. So basically when you get the bushing itself, the purple part, you want to be hammering it with a mallet from the inside until you're flush with this lip on the outer one. And then don't be shy to use WD-40 all around. That's what's gonna make it easier for you. And then this collar, the yellow one, you're gonna come from this side. I'm laying like this. So you're gonna come from this side and you're gonna hammer the mallet in with also using WD-40. And remember guys, I did not freeze anything. I did not buy the Z1 tool. I just did this all, you know, like I showed you guys. But yeah, the hardest part is done. Now I don't have to be under the car until I start the installation. All right, so here comes the mounts from the diff itself. Basically what you wanna do, there's a rubber piece. You just remove it with your hand. Then you gotta find this edge. Now what you're gonna fit over this edge is a 36mm socket. It just fits right perfect in there, you know, like so. But in mine, it went from underneath the diff. That's where this lip was. So put it here, hammer the heck out of it, it'll come out, and then just hammer out the socket itself. Now the one side in mine, super clean, but this one, for some reason, it has some rust on it. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna clean that. I'm gonna run a little bit of Scotch-Brite or whatever on it. Okay, now to the next step. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run wire brush to it. I'm not gonna bother cleaning it. I'm just gonna wire brush it. Basically done here. Just look. I don't think you'll be able to see it through the camera, but you see this brown stuff? That's all the rust gone on the car. You see how brown it's turning. So now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drain the fluid out of it and just see how it looks like. I'm gonna open up the fill plug first, then the drain plug. We're gonna see how that fluid looks like, and I can tell you guys it's been 4 years. And I had Lucas stuff. That was the first time I changed the diff fluid. And I know what you might be thinking right now, but remember, I barely drive this car and I only drive it in summer. So I'm going to drain it right now. We'll see how it looks like. You guys are going to laugh at this, but you know the term when they say always remove the fill plug first before the drain plug? Well, that is for a reason. I stripped this one. Yep. Don't ask me how. It was somehow so tight. It was a good friend of mine that tightened this one, that we used to call him the Impact. So, yep. But you know what? I don't care. I'm going to just open the drain one only anyways, because I'm going to be removing the cover and replacing it. So this one, like I was supposed to give the other one, just gave it a couple ugga-duggas, and I'm going to try not to get this on my hand. Let's hold the oil pan here. Phew, I can already smell it. It stinks. Let's remove the breather tube so it can drain faster. Oh boy. Here's what a couple burnouts did. Yep, it was due. It was really due replacing. Damn. That's quite a bit of shaving, to be honest. So now that I cleaned up the drain plug, here's what it looks like. Well, alright, so we're back here. Another sunny day, finally. So I have everything roughly masked up. Now the gears are good. This, I'm going to use my razor, a brand new one, just to cut around the edges because I don't want paint going in there. So now that it's somewhat pretty, this is what it's supposed to look like. I can basically hit it from every angle. The wind's not really going to help it because it's a little windy, but it is what it is. Throwback. Man, this is first coat, and look how good it looks already. Damn! This is amazing. I'm gonna do probably 2 or max 3 coats. It's already looking very good with 1 coat, but you don't, like, you also don't want to get too heavy with the paint. But I'll probably be more I'll be happy with a little bit of it. This is coat number 2, and of course it's windy. You guys see? Jesus. That Subaru just keeps coming up and down my road, and it actually doesn't sound bad. So, if you're watching my video, dude, sick Subi. I'd say this is done. Whew. Looks amazing. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Should I have stayed with satin finish or gloss like this one? I think both would look good. I don't know. On the diff, I didn't really want to go with satin. So now we're going to leave this to dry for an hour, because on the can it says it can be handled in an hour. So I'm going to leave it to dry. I'm not going to touch it. And then later I'm going to come and remove all the masking. God, guys, look at this. It looks absolutely beautiful. Complete transformation. Okay, so now we're going to get to see the inside of the diff for the first time for me, to be honest. I hope I don't damage anything. But yeah, let's give it some ugga-duggas. Whoa. Okay, here comes bolt number 1. Ooh. Huh. This is actually amazing. Let me show you guys something interesting that I'm just noticing right now. So this is the inside of the factory diff cover, which is not exactly what I expected. But my point, I really hate how this smells. Freaking diff bushing, or diff fluid, man. And this is what the Z1 looks like. Very identical design on the inside, if you look between the two, which is amazing. So here's the inside of the diff. It's actually pretty clean. That's my mark from touching it, but yeah. No metal shavings on the inside there. See? It's actually just dirty fluid. But yeah. Alright guys, next day here. I got 3 cans of brake cleaner since I run through these faster than I could even count or know. I had this sitting down so I can drain whatever it is. I'm gonna clean the inside of the diff, even though I don't have to, but just because I'm OCD and I want to make sure everything is out of it. But one more thing, I mean, the brake cleaner does evaporate, but you guys want to make sure that when you like clean everything, I'll like just tilt it, so whatever's in there, it'll just drip down. So yeah. One thing before I forget, I went to my local junkyard. I got me a fill bolt off of a G35 that was just sitting there, but it's the same plug. So that's gonna go on the new cover for this one. So as you guys saw, I cleaned up the diff itself and I cleaned up the surrounding area. I cleaned it up with a razor and then used some brake cleaner to kind of, you know, like I just sprayed it on the towel and then wiped it around. It kind of helped remove some of the leftover residue. Okay, as you guys saw, I applied it. This is basically good. Not too thick, not too thin, all around. And the trick here is to install it without making a mess. Okay, so everything is hand tight. Damn, look at this, guys. Holy, so sexy. I cleaned up the edges where the gasket was. I'm pretty sure some more will squeeze out after I actually torque it, but I gotta wait an hour for that. But damn, look at that. Just look at that. It looks like one of those fishes. Here, let me do 3 cameras. I forgot what it's called, but one of those, you know, deep sea fish or whatever. Like those are the eyes. That's kind of the nose, the mouth. Damn, Z1 really nailed it on this design. Okay, so same night here. I forgot to film when I got this, but I was in a rush when I left anyway, so I properly torqued it. Just gonna say, guys, you don't want to over torque it or go insanely crazy with it. I don't know if that made sense, but anyways, because this is cast aluminum, basically go in a crisscross pattern. So this, and then this, you know, so on. Just like when you're doing a tire, so it evenly presses in. But yeah, like, so now, before I actually get to reinstalling everything, these bushings are super easy to install. So basically, we're gonna take it apart, like so. And you don't really have to, but this is how I saw everybody else doing. Actually, tell you what, we're gonna try and install this one like that. But let's do this one first. So a little bit of WD-40, and then just slide from the bottom like that. It's in, and then spray some more on this part. You know, see, not too much, just, you know, enough. And then line up. As easy as that. Done. You're done. That's That's how easy the bushings are. This stuff is all ready to be put back in the car. The bushings are installed, the gasket has dried. I want to give you guys a little quick tip about this. Now, I don't know what's the proper way to install it, but here's what I did. So basically WD-40, and then I used the screwdriver, just gently, like put it on the edges, like get it started first, and then just tap, like, you know, to get it started. And then once it's like 75% of the way, it'll just seat. But yeah, it won't move. It's all properly in place and it's straight. So yeah. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put fluid. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow just to make sure it's not leaking. Okay, so here's what I got set up right now. Basically got my diff fluid, which is 75 W90, and I only use AMSOIL for my products. I do get a pretty good discount in prices from them, but these stuff are amazing. So the manual on the diff cover says that this increases the capacity by half a liter. Now here's the thing, with diff fluid, it's very easy to know when you're max on fluid, because you pump it until it starts coming out from here. Once it does, you know you're full. But what I'm gonna do, because I dried out the diff completely, I'm gonna pump it until it starts pouring out, and then I'm gonna close it just, you know, just so it doesn't leak anymore. And then I'm gonna spin the gears just to get the fluid going around, and then I'll check it again. But yeah. Whew, just enough. Literally just enough. Just over 2 liters. Okay. So updates on the diff. It mostly is in, but here's where I messed up. So, you guys know those bottom bolts, or not bottom, the rear bolts that go in the back? I stripped one of them because it didn't go in straight, and then I cross-threaded. Excuse me. Not cross-threaded it, but I damaged the tip. Now, what I'm doing is I have a tap set big enough to rethread the nut that's inside the subframe, but I don't have one that's big enough to do the stud itself. So what I did is I cut the very tip of the bolt, which is like 1 mil or whatever, but there's enough space that it won't be any harm to it. So right. Amazing news, look at that. The differential is officially sitting in the car, not with the jack. It's literally supported by its own, see? So basically what I did is there's the thing that you rethread it with, and then what I used is, this is a 1/4 inch extension, but I used it backwards. So this is the end that goes to the ratchet, but the end of this is a 1/4 inch as well, just like the ratchet. So it went in, you know, in here, and then just lined it up with the drill. Like, you have to be 100% square with it, and then just use the drill. Right away it rethreaded it, and then, you know, I was able to just put the bolt back in and then tighten it up. So, whew, thank God we're good there. That was a close call. Alright, so also I got the old sway bar links out. See how this one's worn? I could easily move it. The other one's just as bad, so without cutting anything. Now here's the new ones. I went with Moog. I actually like them because you can re-grease them. So this is how your sway bar links are supposed to be. You can have some movement, but not too much. And those are the rear ones for mine. By the way, the driver's side, it is different from the passenger, because once it's like this, and the other one, like, you know, just it's the opposite way. It's done. Exhaust is back on, diff, everything, all the brackets, the new sway bar links. Whew, and it looks amazing. Let's put a light. Yep, here's the new bushing, the new diff cover. Everything is put back on, no extra bolts. It's time to take this thing for a drive finally. I might even go and wash it because, look, it's never that dirty. So, let's start this thing and see if the battery's dead or not. Just leaving those down because I just plugged in the battery again. So I have to restart those. Okay, let's see if she works. hasn't run in forever, so man, look at this thing. Whew, them halos. Oh man, it's almost time. It's almost time. She's just too dirty. Let's take her for a wash. Here's the Starlight. It's just as good as when I first did it, so yep. By the way guys, this is the first ride since the coilover install. It's so smooth. It's honestly so smooth. Oh man, this car never fails to make me smile, I swear to God. And every time I drive it first time for the year, I get so nervous. I don't know why, I just do. And maybe part of it is because of, you know, I installed so many mods into it, but I want to kind of take it easy. Let's try her out a little bit. First wash of the season. Let's pre-soak it first. Just take all the dirt and whatever stuck to it off. Oh man. I swear I love this thing too much. Gotta use soap right now. Just make sure I get everything. Let's see how she rips. Holy, that's so much more responsive. I have not driven this car for too long, man. I seriously have not. Oh man, I love this thing. I swear. Whew. So clean. So clean. Here's what the roof looks like. Same as the glass, guys. No orange peel, no nothing. I did paint correction on that thing and that successful automotive splitter. As far as I know, I'm still the only one in Canada that has this. Still. Holy. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for this video, and as you saw, I drove the G and man, just like always, I fell in love with it all over again. I can't wait until the tune's done and everything. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.